Bharata Deshahitaya Kuru Sevam Tvam. This is the theme of an all India movement, a movement for Seva. Every Indian should have this awareness of taking care of the people of this country, the people who need help, who are isolated, alienated from the mainstream society, and whose culture is also in danger, whose livelihood, etc., is not in a desirable state. So, people should help people. Kuru Sevam Tvam.
India, a land of infinite variety and diversity and disparity.
தர்மபுரியிலிருந்து ஒரு 10 கிலோமீட்டர் வில்லேஜ் என் சொந்த ஊர். அங்கே வந்து விவசாயம் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம். 5வது முடிச்சு 6வது வச்சு மேற்கொண்டு படிக்க வைக்க வசதி இல்லை.
पहले गांव में पढ़ता था. गांव से स्कूल 4 किलोमीटर दूर था. गांव से स्कूल जाने में 4 घंटे लगते थे.
Many of the benefits of India's growth and prosperity have not yet reached large sections of society. Education remains a distant dream for many children in rural India, nor is it a priority for their poor parents.
6वीं कक्षा में जब माता जी का देहांत हो गया था, उसके बाद घर का माहौल बदल रहा था. घर में अच्छी सुविधाएं नहीं मिल पा रही थी पढ़ाई के लिए, अच्छे से देखभाल नहीं हो पा रहा था.
வீட்டுக்கு போன அம்மா இந்த வேலையை செய்யுங்க அந்த வேலையை செய்யுங்கன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அதனால படிக்க முடியாது.
It's the search for answers to questions like these that inspired the founding of Aim for Seva by Swami Dayananda Saraswati.
यहाँ आने के बाद मुझे पढ़ाई की अच्छी सुविधाएं मिली, अच्छे दोस्त मिला, अच्छे माहौल मिला और रहने के लिए अच्छी बेहतर सुविधाएं मिली जो कि सब घर में नहीं था.
Many of the past students have finished education and are pursuing their ambition.
என்னோட எய்ம் டாக்டர் ஆகணும்ங்கிறது, ஆர்மிக்கு போகணும், ஐஏஎஸ் ஆகணும்ங்கிறது என்னோட எய்ம்.
To bring about a transformation in society. To care, to innovate, to educate.
Mahaganapatin Manasa Smarami Mahadeva Mudam Shirasa Namami Mahaganapatin Manasa Smarami. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahavirjam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Yeah, a human being is not just a survivor. You can never say this animal is just a survivor. You can't say that, because it has got to survive. That's it. Its job is over. one cannot be a self-conscious being, self-judging being. Not self-conscious is enough. Self-judging. That means self-consciousness is complete. Every animal seems to be self-conscious but inhibited, not leading to any judgment, big judgment. This self-judging human being, being an organism, a living organism, like any other living organism, needs to survive. There is an instinctual attempt to survive on the part of anything alive. Even a mushroom wants to survive. Why mushroom? Because it has only a mushroom life. 2 days or 3 days or 4 days over. Mushrooms come quickly, die quickly. And if they live, they are allowed to live, they live for 3-4 days. They are not allowed to live. They are all swallowed, okay? But what I say, even it wants to survive. Any living organism has an attempt to survive. That is a programming. So this programming, a human being a living organism, is subject to. But is it enough? The question. The survival implies a few things. Air, water, food, shelter, survival. Then everything else is plus, okay? Even clothes are a plus. Everything else is plus. And you can have your own whisper jet. Whisper jet means, the engines or jet engines are at the tail. You don't get any noise inside. That's why whisper jet. You can have your own. Endless. These are all plus. Everything is plus. But suppose a person just survives. Is it enough? If you don't judge yourself, it's enough. If you are incapable of judgment, that's better. If you are incapable of judgment, then that's enough. A self-judgment, suppose it's not possible, that's enough. That's why even Indian cows don't come with saris on. No self-judgment is incapable of self-judgment. And once you are capable of judgment, you are going to judge. I can't ask you, don't judge. It's not right. When I say don't judge, then I am judging you that you are judging, correct? So, once you are capable of judgment, you are bound to judge. Because you are self-aware and totally. Therefore, you are going to recognize some facts about yourself. So when you recognize certain facts about yourself, and these facts are not very, very redounding to your image, they are disconcerting, they are disturbing, then it's a problem. So you can't say that I survived, therefore I am happy. You can't say that. In fact, people say, I survived, therefore I am unhappy. When will I die? Is it going to be like this all through my lifetime? There's always someone who raises his or her own hand against the person, against himself, herself, committing suicide. So we cannot just live as survivors. Now, to live a level beyond mere survival means to go beyond the survivor psyche. I am not just a survivor. I need to be a contributor. I contribute something. So contributing to the world, some more children, increasing the population. And that is done without much ado by cows. And therefore, what is my contribution? It's not just children. Then suppose you contribute, a contributor. Means you contribute a contributor. You have children, you educate the children, you bring up the children in such a way with so much care and attention that each one becomes a contributor. Then you have contributed something, correct? And I say, you are a survivor only when you consume. When you don't go beyond consumption and the simple contribution of a survivor. like progeny, etc. That contribution is done by animals too. But then, to transcend or to get ahead, go beyond being just a survivor, human being needs to contribute. Then you cross the level of being a survivor. But what is this contribution? Really speaking, I can look at this topic in different ways. Now I am disposed to deal with this topic this particular way. When I contribute something, then I cross the level of being a survivor, just a survivor. But contribution doesn't need to be only one thing. There are varieties of contribution. In fact, what I contribute, I am not going to question. I am not going to discuss. Have I reached a level of being a contributor? That's all what counts. To reach that level of being a contributor, my whole psychology has to undergo a change. My whole thinking has to undergo a change. I can't just be a grabber and enjoy a certain psychology of being a contributor, correct? I cannot be self-centered. In other words, and then say that I am a contributor. So my psychology has to undergo change. My ways of thinking, my ways of looking at myself and looking at others, the world, they need to undergo change. Therefore, just by being a yearning member, by being just father, mother, I don't cross the line. I cross the line as a father when I have a certain leisure to enjoy the child so that it grows to become a contributor, not another survivor. Survivor producing a survivor. So I need to have a certain inner something, let me say, maturity or growth, so that I can convert a person into a contributor. And I am a contributor. Contribution is not in terms of money alone. I said money alone, okay? because that's important. But it is not in terms of money alone. Contribution is to convert another person, make another person from the level of being a survivor into a contributor. You know what? Vedanta does exactly this. That is why they say, among many dhanams, many gifts, many contributions, Vidya dhanam is considered to be dhanam, gift of Vidya, gift of knowledge, is considered to be something great. Then again, when you give Vidya to another person, this is just to complete this particular line of thinking. When you give Vidya to somebody, language, or any discipline of science, or skill, anything you give to another, or provide a situation for such a thing to take place, or directly you give, or you create a situation for such transference can take place. It's all contribution. Vidya Dhanam one need not teach. One can provide a situation where Vidya Dhanam can take place. But then, what is that Vidya Dhanam? I will say, the highest form of Vidya. There again, in the Vidya itself, what kind of Vidya? Any Vidya is okay. But any Vidya you give, I am ignorant, the conclusions of the self-judging person will not go away. Correct? I am ignorant, ajñoham. That is a judgment. And it is a correct judgment also. It is not anything wrong. I am ignorant is true, as I told you this. I am knowledgeable because I know what is this, a flower. Then ignorance begins afterwards. Why this flower looks like this? You know, the American way of saying, I don't know, I don't care to know. You should never say, I don't know. I mean, you can't simply say, I don't know. That means you are not Americanized. To feel Americanized, you have to know a few things. When something drops, oops, number one. That is number one. That means you are Americanized. And when you don't know something and you should say, I don't know, don't feel shy. There's nothing wrong saying that I don't know. That's a wonderful thing. I like this. This is honest American. That's typical. I don't know. That's okay. I don't know. I don't know. Means what? I don't know. Why do you say like this? I don't know. That also I don't know. That's what we do. This I don't know is so much here. Any discipline of knowledge, you give all that you have to another person without any reservation. Everything is given. That person is not going to say, I am no more ignorant. He's not going to say. Then he will say, thank you. Now I know what all I don't know. Because you always say, these are the books you have to read. Bibliography. I generally, when I buy a book, I see here and there, and I see whether there is a bibliography. Then is there any book that we have to read? That's what I see. This book, of course, this book is a product of those books, And therefore, look at those books and see whether if everybody gives another list. That's how you build up your library. It's another trick. To find out how do we know this, how to buy these books. What are those books? Where are these books, etc.? That's all is first what are those books, find out. How? Bibliography. Go to the library, take the books, bibliography. You will have a library on paper. Means what? The more I come to know, the more I come to understand what I don't know. This is true. Therefore, previously ajñoham. Ajñoham means I am ignorant. Now what? No way. Previously I thought I could know. Now, no way. I could know. This is called improvement. So this situation among the various forms of various things that you give, that you can share with others. Vidya is considered to be, knowledge is something very precious. Then we go one step further. Among the various disciplines of knowledge, if there is knowledge, if there is such knowledge, as would make you say, in spite of all ignorance that one has with reference to different disciplines of knowledge, in spite of ignorance, there is this knowledge that makes one say that I that I am no more ignorant. I am someone who is conscious of ignorance, correct? I am not ignorant. I am conscious of ignorance. As I am conscious of knowledge too. What I know, I know. What I don't know, I know. Basically, I'm a conscious being. Therefore, how can I say I am ignorant? Suppose I ask a question, are you ignorant or knowledgeable? Suppose you say, I am knowledgeable. I will ask you to spell the word, hoping that you will swallow A, like that gentleman swallowed potatoes, he added a E for potatoes. Here, suppose you swallow A. I am knowledgeable. With reference to what? You have to say. There is no such thing. I am knowledgeable means it's not all-knowing. I am knowledgeable with reference to what one knows, and one is ignorant with reference to what one doesn't know. Therefore, neither one is ignorant or knowledgeable. It's as simple as that. So neither I am knowledgeable, nor I am ignorant, basically. I am knowledgeable with reference to what I know or I think I know, okay? Until otherwise proved. And what I don't know, from that standpoint, I'm ignorant. But if you ask me, who are you? Then I will say, I'm a conscious being who is conscious of both ignorance and knowledge, memories, emotions, and everything, time, space, and everything in time and space that we know, and plus what we don't know. That is what we call all. All that I know, plus what I don't know. It's all. And so, about this conscious being, there is so much to know. If I'm conscious of time and space, am I this conscious being? Is it affected by time and space? Is it conditioned by time and space? Is it subject to time and space? Does this conscious being have a locale, a spatial location? Does it subject to come and go, beginning and end? All these questions arise. And suppose I say, and I prove, suppose, make a big suppose I prove that it is not subject to time and space, then the conscious being, that is I, is free from time-space limitation, and everything else is a point of view. That I am limited from the standpoint of my body, of my mind, of my senses. That's okay. Then I support a limitation. Because the I is free from the complex of limitation. Then limitation becomes a feather. It doesn't weigh on you. I am free enough to have a limited body. I am free enough to have a limited mind. I am free enough to have a limited set of senses. So, if this is knowledge, if this kind of knowledge is available, then transferring this knowledge would be the greatest contribution, correct? The greatest contribution. There is no other contribution. Therefore, in the Upanishad, in one of the Upanishad, there is this mention. If you put one side of the balance, of a balance, all the wealth that is available, and then the other side is this knowledge. It will be like this. This side will be down. This will be up. It cannot go further, therefore it's here. You can understand why it is said so. This is to complete that particular line of thinking. Therefore, one crosses the line of being just a survivor, the psyche of a survivor, when one contributes something to the world. Need not be the human society alone. One contributes something. Otherwise, one becomes only a consumer. That's why I said that a consumer is everyone. There is no exception. Everybody is a consumer. A child is a consumer. It cannot contribute. To the household chore. It adds to the chore. It doesn't contribute. If the parents are intelligent, they can take out of the child some joy. If they are intelligent, if they enjoy the child being a gift is given to me, it's not something that I own. It's a gift. Then you have a certain inner leisure. And you can enjoy the child, correct? Otherwise, child becomes a source of concern, anxiety. My child being my child. To fall back to enjoy. Otherwise, it's a consumer. Becomes an adult, then supposed to be A consumer, of course, all your lifetime you are a consumer, one is a consumer. But then you are a contributor. As an adult, you are not merely a consumer. Now here, what is the contribution? So whatever I consume, to that extent I contribute. Correct? I earn my money and I pay the bills, and then I pay the taxes. This is what I say, I contribute and I earn and I contribute, I earn and I contribute, I earn. This is the consumer contribution, this contributor level. Then if that against, I think I am a survivor. This is my definition of survival. If I have to live my life positively, not just get by, then I have to cross the line of being a survivor, just mere survival. Then that means I need to act from a deeper level. A level which includes not just significant others in my life. All others become significant, not just significant others. Every other person becomes significant, correct? So I need to enjoy a depth within myself from where I respond to the world, which is not merely human beings, which is also the entire environment. Every plant and tree, and every animal including. And that level, then I become a contributor. And that really makes me also a non-contributor. In the sense, I don't contribute to the problems that are there. There is a negative contribution, they say. Hey, that is also a positive contribution. In order to be aware and sensitive to the human ecology, so if I don't rub against people, if I have no double standards, the people who belong to this country, my country, one thing, another country, another. People belong to this religious tradition is one thing, another religious tradition, another. People belong to one culture, one thing, another culture, another. That's all double standards. So I look at people in general from a depth which is all-embracing. Therefore, I don't live a life of resistance, life of rubbing. September 11 was due to a theology of double standard. Those people also are human beings. They have their own love for their their parents and then their children, and they have their life too. But then the deepest person, the core person, is a religious person. So that person has got a doctrine. That anyone who doesn't accept my religious tradition is an enemy to God and therefore is punishable. That's very dangerous. That's purely due to indoctrination. That's why I say if religions don't interfere, the human beings will have only human limitations. Not this doctrinal motivation. Human limitations of greed, selfishness, anger, hatred, jealousy. These are all human limitations. They don't create problems. They don't motivate you to destroy this colossal destruction. They don't bring about. But doctrinal conditioning can do havoc, can cause Holocaust. Therefore, it's very important that every human being grows into something that person, how the process I will talk about later, that person who is not just a survivor, who does not contribute anything that hurts people, hurts the environment. And who contributes, okay, that is one level. And who contributes something that will bring about more joy, more happiness, more light, more freedom. So I say that's when living begins. Till then, one drags one's life to the pension age and then to grave, that's all. Get something from the Uncle Sam, because I paid so much. That's what I said. Just getting by is not really living. Living is to be a positive contributor. That's why this Seva work that we are doing now in India, it can cover the whole planet. So we are doing it in India. Is an avenue where it provides an avenue that provides an occasion, an opportunity for people to care for people. Thereby, one cares oneself, one cares for oneself. Something happens to a person when that person is able to do something for someone else, that you are in it's not pride, it's something so natural, That's an indication of a growth, a big person, Do you know why? Because the essential nature of a human being is fullness, is wholeness. It's the wholeness that gets expression when one is able to do something for others others who are there you don't know. You only know they need help. That person is called Suhrit. We have a word in Sanskrit, Suhrit. A friend is Mitram. Because of introduction, you do something. Because of friendship, you do something. But Suhrit is one who does something because it is to be done. Who the person is not, need not be known. We have a word in Sanskrit, Suhrit. That's why we have in Seva, aim for Seva, more of which I will talk later, we have a program called Suhrit. It's a micro-lending. So helping people, small vendors, helping them from the loan sharkers, relieving them from the loan sharkers. Helping them. Micro-lending, small. India is full of these people who just buy something in the morning, sell in the streets, and then again next day they buy and make some small money. And to buy, they require money capital. A fellow comes and he gives 1,000 rupees. So 1,000 rupees to buy these fruits, and this 1,000 rupees, 500 rupees. Then in the evening for 1,000 rupees, the person has to give 10%. Evening, 10%. 100 rupees. Evening. For 12 hours, 10%. You think of what is the percent of interest. This is called loan sharking. That fellow comes in the evening and then collects the money. He doesn't leave. Then again, next morning, again they have to take money to buy the head load, because that person cannot save and build up a capital. Small monies. So it's always in the hook of the loan sharkers. And these fellows are all big fellows. It's all mafia. Kind of mob. So you help them. It's such a wonderful thing. I talk to a lot of people. Tell them, hey, every one of you can help a few people. If you even lose the money, doesn't matter. Help them so that they don't get into this. Get into the hands of the loan sharkers. It works wonders. The name is Suhrit. The program name is Suhrit. You are a Suhrit to somebody. If somebody is someone whom you don't know. You only know that person needs help, you help. That really makes you somebody. To be reckoned by yourself. To be reckoned by yourself. You have to reckon yourself as a real person. Then you begin living. So we will continue this topic later. And we are trying to help people in the villages, those who have got this hand skills, or we teach them hand skills, and they make different things. And then some of those things you will find how beautiful, varieties of things. Silk, what they call this, the silk factories are there. But there is ahimsa silk. The silk which is made of this they made without destroying the silkworms. You know, the silkworm, the egg-like thing makes a cocoon and it comes out when it is ready. Before it is ready, it is all thrown into the hot water, and from there, so this silk thread is pulled out. It's a wholesale destruction of these worms. And if you allow them to come out, then they break the thread and come out. Then afterwards you have to connect the thread. That's laborious. In India, we can afford to do that, okay? Therefore, we have ahimsa silk. You can go and see. After lunch, we will all walk there. Ahimsa silk. What is ahimsa silk? What is vegetable dye? Hand printing. What it takes to weave, hand weave, carpets and all that. All hand printing, block printing, vegetable dyes, no chemical, nothing. So we have found out these various people who are doing this and encourage them to do it. And we have brought a few things here. Under Seva, a program called Seva. Seva means so that which deserves your help, that which deserves to be helped. It's called Seva. We have, after lunch, we will go there and see. Mahaganapatin manasa smarami Mahadeva mudam shirasa namami Mahaganapatin manasa smarami.